Hello and welcome to another episode of Emilio's Garage. Today, I'm going to do a little more wrenching on my e46 BMW and making a little video here just for the e46 community. Maybe you've just bought one, or maybe you're new to these cars and you're running into a few little things. Right now with this car, the problem I've been having was an idle that was basically just bouncing a little bit. So, meaning the tachometer would just kind of bounce up and down, the engine would surge. I suspected it was a bad idle control valve, and that seems to prove to be the case, as you'll see in the video. Couple of things I'm going to show you also. I'm going to remove the air box along with the MAF, along with the ductwork leading down to the throttle body. We're going to remove the DISA valve and we're going to change this out. Underneath, we're going to remove the idle control valve and change it out. And all the way down on the bottom is the throttle body itself. We're going to pull it out and we're going to thoroughly clean it. Mine was pretty gunked up pretty bad. Unfortunately, I don't have a before shot of it, but I could certainly show you what the after shot looks like of a nice clean throttle body. So I'm going to spare you all the teardown, and I'm going to just give you a couple of pointers. If you're new to these cars, if you're new to dealing with some of these issues and of surging idle, basically. Idle control valve is going to be probably the #1 culprit. And I'll give you a couple of tips and pointers along the way. So it's a quick little video. Hope you enjoy it. And if you like it, hit that like and certainly hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it to help the channel out. And let me know in the comments if you've got any thoughts for future videos or anything you'd like me to do. I'm going to try and make some more videos for the community here. There's still quite a few E46s on the road. This is mine. I've had it from new. It's a 2002 325. That's the M54 B25 engine. Pretty much all original. And as we're coming up on 194,000 miles on this baby, issues are coming up, and I'm going to try and make some videos for you guys, try to help the community out. I got some parts over here that are waiting to go on the car. And so, yeah, if you could leave a comment and let me know what you think. For now, let me just get into the video and I'll show you what I've done. Well, I wish I had taken a before and after shot of this throttle body. But as you can see in the idle position now, clear daylight around that butterfly. And that was not the case when I pulled this out. It was gunked up pretty good. So I think we got this cleaned as best as we can. I don't think it's going to get much better than that. Look at that. See my reflection in there almost. There's the throttle body right there that's going to be going back in just a minute. I just showed you how nice and clean it is now. I wish I did a before and after on it, but that's okay. It's nice and clean now, and I have not had any other problems with it. So I'm hoping that that's not going to be an issue. But there's a couple of things I did want to just share with the E46 community really quick. If we come over to my little workbench area over here. So I'm going to definitely replace both of these components. So what we're looking at here is there's the DISA valve right here, and this is the idle control valve right here. So these are the original parts I took out of the car. These are the new parts that we're going to go back with. When you pull the idle control valve out, okay, this is the new one. What it should sound like is basically like the Japanese drum in Karate Kid. You wiggle it, and that's what it should sound like. The flap inside, okay, should be moving around in there freely. On my original one, yeah, nothing. It is moving, but it's moving very, very sluggishly. So I'm convinced that the new idle control valve will definitely make an improvement. Now, The other thing I want to show you guys is the new DISA. So this is the new one right here. Okay, and the way you check these out is very simple. There's a little hole right here, all right? And all you got to do is you just crank the butterfly, put your finger over this hole and seal it. And you'll notice, okay, that the butterfly springs a little bit. It's at an angle, but it springs. Okay, when you release it, it goes fully open. Take a look at this one. This is the original one right here. Okay, I'm going to show this. Same thing. Cover the hole. I'm going to open it up. Okay, you might not be able to see it very clearly here on the shot. I want to do my best to try and illustrate it. Notice this butterfly, how open this gap is right here. Okay, I can get my whole finger right in there, basically. Okay, well, I can't do that, and I need another pair of hands, which I don't have, but I can't do that with the new one. As I close it up, I'll just show you, okay? I can't get my finger in there. It's hitting on my fingernail, actually, right there. So the angle is much shallower. So that tells me that either the old one is just plumb out worn out, or there's something wrong with it as far as, you know, the diaphragm inside is. This is very, very, very loose in how it moves. The new one is far stiffer. It's got better resistance. I'm convinced that these two new parts together are definitely going to help the rough idle condition that I have right now with my e46. The other thing is that I noticed, so I got this is the intake boot right here. I have completely inspected the boot to make sure that there's no cracks in and around the bellows area here, which they tend to do. This kind of looks a little bit on the squashed side. If you look, it doesn't really look round. It looks a bit, you know, oblong a bit. It's not perfectly round like this other end here, but everything is tight on this. There's no gaps, there's no nothing, there's no rips, there's no tears. Everything is pretty tight. So I'm confident putting this guy back in there that we should be in pretty good shape. And while I was at it, when I was getting parts, we're gonna replace, this is the grommet for the idle control valve that goes up inside the intake manifold. I just picked one of these up as well. So we'll change that out, and hopefully that'll help. There's nothing wrong with it that I can see. I don't see any cracks or tears or rips or anything like that. But still, this is the original piece. So pretty much everything is original. The bellows, I mean, I replaced, these are new from about 12, 13 years ago, new. They're probably due for a refresh at some point, but the rubber is still pliable, like I say, and there's no rips or tears or anything in them. And there's no smoke coming out of them when I do the smoke test. So I'm pretty confident they're gonna be all right. So I'm gonna spare everyone the reassembly process. Just wanted to show the community those few things. You know, if you're having problems with a rough idle, we're gonna see if this goes and cures it. I really hope that it does. I'm hopeful. Like I said earlier, the throttle body, I mean, it's so clean now that, I mean, it's just beautiful in there. There was a ridge of gunk as soon as I hit it with my carb cleaner, throttle body cleaner. It just, all kinds of black crap and gunk just came out of it. So I am very, very hopeful with the daylight that's now showing through that butterfly. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I'm hopeful that all of these items put together are going to help with the rough idle, which eventually trips and stumbles and ends up being a misfire. One other thing that I did do, this is the, I guess the Toyota guys would call it a VVTi, but this is the VANOS solenoid on the intake side. I actually just unscrewed this earlier. I didn't video it, but this has been untouched in the whole life of the car, so it's original to the car. Just got a big adjustable wrench on here. Well, my biggest wrench that I had to get around this. I think this is like, it's about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter. I'm not exactly sure how big this is, but I didn't have a wrench big enough for that, so I had to use the adjustable. But anyway, you quickly disconnect the wire right here and just unscrew this. And I sprayed it with brake clean took it outside, sprayed it with brake clean, and inside of here there's a plunger, and that plunger was not moving. You couldn't even hear it. And once I cleaned it up and you shake it back and forth, you could hear it clicking again. So I wish I could do it to the exhaust one, but the exhaust one's buried in there a little bit, and I don't have a crow's foot wrench to get on it and try and get it off. So there's no way I'm going to be able to get at the exhaust one, at least until after I get a wrench. But anyways, so that's that. I'm going to start putting everything back together again, and we'll see how she runs when we fire it up. It's idle and beautiful. It's not bouncing around anywhere anymore. So that's a good thing. So there you have it, guys. Hope that's going to be a little helpful for you. Let me just point out a couple other little things. So here's a closer look at the VANOS solenoid here. This is the intake solenoid. You just get a big adjustable wrench on here, and you'll be able to just unscrew this very easily. And then there's a connector right here. Just disconnect the connector, pull this out, and then spray the inside of it with just brake clean, and the little plunger inside should move freely. The exhaust one is buried under here, unfortunately. I can't really see if I can get a good shot of it, but it's right down under here. So without a crow's foot, or getting all the pulling the fan out and everything, I'm not going to be able to get to it. One other little tip I will give you, right here, when you are pulling out all the duct work here, the intake duct, you'll notice this F connector, okay? You want to be very careful in pulling out this F connector from the boot. The small line right here, the small vacuum line, this runs back to the fuel pressure regulator on the fuel filter. And you do not want to break this. This is made of very, very thin wall, achy, breaky plastic, and it will break on you. Ask me how I know. And if it breaks, you're going to be in a world of hurt, because it's not going to run without that vacuum line controlling the pressure regulator on the fuel filter. It's just not going to work. And same goes to this big one. That big line goes down and connects to what they call the sucking jet pump, which that jet pump is connected to the brake booster. That's what gives you your brakes. So should you break and lose the big line, you're likely going to have problems with your brakes. So just want to be careful. Just wanted to point those few things out. If you're new to these cars, and you've never worked on them before, yeah, there's a lot of plastic stuff under here. And if it's been sitting for many, many, many years, all those heat cycles do get to the plastic eventually. Till I talk to you again, we'll see you in the next one.